Hello everyone, Jincy here from Gems Abroad. Welcome to the yet another episode of PT Podcast. அப்போ இந்த பாட்காஸ்ட்ல நம்ம டிஸ்கஸ் பண்ண போறது உங்களுக்கு எல்லாருக்குமே தெரியும் பிடி சேஞ்சஸ் இல்லைனா பிடி அப்டேட்ஸ் ஆகஸ்ட் 7 2025லேருந்து வரப்போகுது. அப்போ எல்லாத்துக்குமே என்ன சேஞ்சஸ் வந்திருக்கு அண்ட் எந்த மாதிரி சேஞ்சஸ் வந்திருக்கு, ஸ்கோரிங்கில் ஏதாவது சேஞ்சஸ் இருக்கா, அந்த மாதிரி நிறைய டவுட்ஸ் உங்களுக்கு இருக்குன்னு எனக்கு தெரியும். ஸோ அதை பற்றி தான் டிஸ்கஸ் பண்ண போகிறோம். ஸோ அந்த இன்ஃபர்மேஷன் கொடுக்கறதுக்காக நம்ம கூட மிஸ்டர் ஷான் வில்லியம் டிசூசா, டெரிட்டரி மேனேஜர் ஆஃப் பியர்சன், ஜாயின் பண்ணியிருக்காரு. ஸோ ஆல் மை பிடி ஆஸ்பிரன்ஸ் ஆஃப் தேர், உங்களுக்கு இதை பற்றி தெரியணும் அப்படின்னா கண்டிப்பாக இந்த எபிசோட ஃபுல்லாக வாட்ச் பண்ணுங்க. பிஃபோர் வி கெட் ஸ்டார்டட், வெல்கம் ஷான் ஃபார் த பாட்காஸ்ட்.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for inviting me to this amazing podcast. I'm sure the discussion that we'll have today will be a very informative and a knowledge-gaining session for all of your audience.
And so, my first question. What are the updates that has been announced, and is the update is for any particular module, or is it mean changes for all the modules also?
So basically, there are two updates,
Okay.
of which one is we have added two new question types, which is the respond to a situation and summarize group discussion.
Okay.
And the second update is the involvement of a human rater, of course, in the content part of 5 new question types.
Oh,
So-
that the new questions are added to the speaking module, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so to talk about the question types in which the human rater would be implicated, besides the two new question type, which is describe image and retail lecture, there are 5 other question types. That is, respond to a situation, summarize group discussion, summarize spoken text, summarize written text, and essay writing.
Okay.
So these are the 5 new question types. I mean, I would not say new question types, but the 5 question types in which human rater would be involved in it.
Okay, fine. So, apart from 5 questions in the speaking module, from August 7, 2025, there will be 7 questions in the speaking,
That's
right?
right. That's
As
right.
well as in all the essay writing, summarize written text, summarize spoken text, human examiners evaluation will also be there, right?
In the content part.
In the content part
Yes,
alone.
yes.
Okay, fine. So, yeah, the next question, should we expect updates like this regularly, every year or once in a few years?
So, I mean, to give you just like, there's no fixed timeline for, for an update to be rolled out.
Uh-huh.
So, since PT is an evolving test,
Okay.
right? And when I say evolving test, why do I say evolving test? Because, as time passes, or as we come through this time, I would say like, PT is an exam which is trying to evolve itself for the betterment of the students.
Yes.
How can we benefit the students in the best possible ways?
Yeah.
How can we introduce question types which the students can relate from their life,
Okay.
or from the scenarios in their life?
Yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's no fixed timeline, but probably if there is any scope of improvement or evolving in the future, probably there could be some other changes. But as of now, it is only these changes which is going to be implicated from the August 7th, 2025.
So before August 7, like if a aspirant is taking up the exam, is there any changes that they will come across?
None. There's nothing before the August 7th, because any changes that happen would happen only from August 7th, 2025. Before that, any exam and every exam would be the same that has been going on for so long.
To be honest, actually, we can't say these changes has happened all of a sudden, right? Actually, those 2 questions which is been added in the speaking module, actually there is a trial which is running up and those like months back or the year back, right? So we don't say that it has been a sudden change that aspirants can get shocked.
Right. So I would say, I mean, in the year 2024, for about 3-4 months, we did roll out these 2 question types as a part of a trial.
Yeah.
But of course, it was not being scored at all.
Yes.
Which means whether a student attempts these 2 question types or they did not attempt, it was not getting scored. But what we've noticed is that in spite of it not being scored, multiple students did attempt those 2 question types.
Okay.
Which it only makes sense that, we introduce this officially in the exam, because when the students themselves are eager and when they find out that, okay, it is something which they can relate to themselves. Because say, for instance, if I talk about summarize group discussion. For instance, if you have watched a movie recently, right? And if I ask you, like, ma'am, can you just summarize what was the movie all about? It is very easy for you to do it,
Yeah.
right? Because you have seen that movie, you have understood, you have used your skills there, so
Yes.
you can easily relate it there.
Yeah.
Now, the same situation when it comes to summarize a group discussion, all you'll have to do is analyze what is actually happening in the discussion. And of course, the discussion would happen within, between three people. Could be a professor and two students, could be a professor, a student, and an admin staff. So whatever has been discussed all about there, that has to be summarized there,
Okay.
which is very easy for, for anybody like you and me can do it,
because
right?
like as you know, when we watch a movie, normally if somebody has not watched it, we give a review on that, right? So
Exactly.
what is the movie about, and what
Exactly.
is the story being, and what are the characters? So it is like a movie review.
Correct.
Right?
Now, besides that, this other question type called respond to a situation. Say, for example, I put a situation in front of you, right? Or in front of any student. You are a student of XYZ college, and you need to have a discussion in the class, or you have attended a session, for example, and you have been asked to do a presentation, for example. How are you going to respond to that?
Yeah.
So, these are some kind of situations which you and I or the students can put ourselves in that situation, think from that point of view, like, what am I going to do? How am I going to do? Right? And you have to just, you will have to respond to the situation according to that. Now, to give you another example, say, for example, a student has not received his test that he's written in a college. What is he going to do in that situation? Of course, he would reach out to the professor. How is he going to reach out? Excuse me, sir. Excuse me, ma'am. I've got something to speak to you. Can I have 5 minutes of your time?
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
He'll speak to them, and then they would be like, giving out some information, and then he would cross question them back. So this is a kind of thing which is very common.
Yeah, these
right?
situations we handle in all our daily life, right?
Exactly. So now that is the exact same thing we just put up in this test.
Okay.
Right? When you're given a situation and you'll have to respond on that.
Right.
Simple as that.
Well,
So the two new question types which are added is nothing but it's something taken from a student or a person's life and put it in the exam.
Okay.
That's
Well said, Sean. So, yeah, the next question. Have there been any updates to the scoring algorithm as part of this change?
To the algorithm, no. But to the scoring, yeah, there has been a couple of changes, which I recommend the students if they can go ahead and visit our website, pearsonpte.com, and search for the scoring guide.
Okay.
Now, all of the updates are mentioned in the scoring guide. We've got a latest updated version of the scoring guide already posted on our website, which can be accessed by anyone and everyone using a link.
Okay. When a PT aspirant is preparing for his exam, before he get into his preparation, he should know about all the scoring changes. Because, for example, if he is preparing one question, he should know where this mark is contributing to, and how many questions are asked, and how many marks are there. So I think that should be the first step before getting into learning the questions. They should go through all these, and for my PT aspirants out there, you can just check all the scoring guide in the Pearson website. It's clearly mentioned there, so you will not be having any doubts on that. Okay.
Correct.
So next question. You already told about this. Are human examiners now scoring speaking, specifically things like fluency, pronunciation, or accent? Or is it still entirely AI based before?
So since the beginning of the test, and I'm sure for the next many more years in this industry that of English proficiency test, the oral fluency and pronunciation will 100% remain AI based alone.
Okay.
Content part, yes, because that content part is something that brings out the creativity of a student.
Yes.
Now, say for instance, a student memorizes or uses a templated response. He or she is not using his own creativity, right?
Yeah.
They're using somebody else's created creativity, I would say. Now, when that happens, that is where, a human examiner would judge a student.
Yeah.
When it comes to the content bit, whether they are using a templated / memorized response, or else is it a genuine response?
Yes.
Of course, if it's a genuine response, they will be getting the scores.
Oh, yeah.
But if it is a templated or a memorized response, they would not be getting the scores, only for the content bit.
Right.
However, that being said, AI is going to 100% evaluate the pronunciation and the fluency bit of the question types.
The content will be evaluated by the human examiners.
Yeah, and talking about the content, it is first actually evaluated by AI, then it goes to a human.
In case like if the aspirant has used up any memorized sentences,
Correct.
then it will be going forward for the human evaluation, right? So students has to prepare well for their exams. They need to think of, and they should think logically. And when you write an essay and all, because now the templates are not safe anymore, right?
Right. I mean, to give a students or to give all of your audience, a brief idea. Say, for instance, if they use a template and say, for instance, they get the scores now and they go to whichever desired countries of their choice. UK
Okay.
could be UK, Australia, Canada, US, any of the countries, right? Would they still use a template when they go to that country to have a basic communication with any of the other colleagues or peers in the country? Or, would they have to, or, would they use templates when it comes to, like, a task that has been assigned to them by their higher ups? No.
Not exactly.
So
Yeah.
it is like they are using the templates as a kind of a comfort zone right now,
Yeah.
so that they can get through the exam right now. But then that would backfire them, that would affect them in the long run.
Yeah.
Instead of that, I would highly recommend that they go through the preparation period right now. Even if it is like they'll have to struggle a little bit now if they are used to using templates or memorized responses. Struggle a little bit now, practice as much as possible, and make sure that all of the responses are genuine and their own created ones.
Yeah, which has been at that it's been responded by at that time, right? For example,
Exactly.
for Discover
Correct.
Image or Read Lecture, the response should be very natural.
Correct. It has to be very natural, because that is what that determines, like, what kind of a lifestyle would they have once they go abroad.
Yeah, yeah.
Once they go to the English speaking country of their choice, how are they going to survive there?
Yes.
It is not like templates will be used everywhere and everywhere.
Yeah, yeah. And
Correct.
also it improves their logical thinking also, because they a lot
100%.
have to think about when a
100%.
question is asked, like when a common topic is being asked, they have to think of, they have to brainstorm their ideas to generate the sentences or to write the sentences based on that topic.
Correct. Exactly.
Okay, Sean. Yeah, the new task, summarize group discussion and respond to a situation. It sounds interesting. But are they going to make the test more difficult?
I would not say difficult, because the addition to the test is not about to raise the level of difficulty, because there's nothing called a difficulty level. I
Yeah.
would say, but it is like, it is mainly it's brought up in the test to enhance the reliability of the test, to enhance, like I said, PT is an evolving test.
Yeah, yeah.
So every time a changes is made, it is made sure that the changes are made only to help the test takers.
Okay.
Because when it comes to the real life scenarios, they are already well aware and well versed with that.
Yeah.
So when it comes to that kind of an experience, bringing it out in a test like PT, it only helps them get their scores, they get their desired scores. Because when a student is aware about a situation like this, like for example, when it comes to, like, the new two question types, they
Yeah.
already know how to do it.
Yes.
So that will only help them achieve their dream of going abroad that way, with
Okay.
with the required score.
So how about the test duration? So the 2 questions being added now. So total, it is not like 20 questions total. We have 22 questions, right? So how about the test duration? Will that get increased or it remains the same?
So there is a slight change when it comes to the test duration from the 7th of August, of course, since that is when we are introducing the two new question types. So it would basically make a difference of about 10 to 15 minutes, I would
Okay.
say. But most of the students, I would say, they even now, when the test is around 2 hours, they are able to complete the test in about 1 hour 45 minutes, 1 hour 15 minutes. So it will not make a major difference when it comes to the students who write this exam post from 7th of August. Hardly approximately within 2 hours, 2 hours 15 minutes, they would be able to complete the entire exam.
Fine. Okay. So speak about the time. See, students need to take about the time management, right? To complete the modules in the proper, the scheduled time. So what do you want to say about that?
So see, I 100% believe that a student uh, has to take a mentorship under a mentor like you in an organization like yours, Gems Abroad. Because when it comes to, like, self-studying that way, what would happen is maybe they would be able to study, but they would not be able to get themselves evaluated rightly.
Or to be very simple, they will not be known to practice under time conditions, right?
Exactly. So now when they're under a mentorship, like say for instance, if you've got a student who is training for PT or is doing the coaching for PT under your mentorship, you can of course guide them.
Yes.
Like, this one can be improved, that one can be improved. Focusing on so and so question types for so and so time
Yes.
will help you
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
Not doing that would not help. So, you can guide them, exactly as to where are their shortcomings and how can that be improved there.
Where they can save their time, or
Yes.
where do they need to spend more of the time, right?
Correct.
I
Correct.
know. Okay, thank you. There is a talk that the scoring is becoming stricter, especially for speaking and writing. Does this mean human examiners are now reviewing our responses more clearly?
There's nothing of that sort. I mean, there's nothing about it being difficult or tougher or stricter that way. Because, like I said, for the students, if a student is using a templated response or a memorized response, yes,
Yes.
they're going to face a little bit of a backslash over there.
Yeah.
But when it comes to students who are not practicing using templated responses or memorized responses, to be honest, they would not find any difference.
Yeah.
For them, it will be like, okay, nothing has actually changed besides the addition of the two new question types. Besides that, nothing has changed for the students who are not using a templated or a memorized response. But for those who are using the templated or a memorized response, they might find it difficult because, I mean, okay, even talking about difficult, I would not say difficult per se, but the scores would go down because of the content bit.
Okay.
So I would highly recommend each and every student not to use a template or a memorized response, and make sure that it is all completely natural and authentically responded there.
Right. Okay, because once the update has come, PT aspirants, they are thinking about whether to go for PT or should they go for any other language test, because templates has been banned and templates we can't use it for anymore. The questions which is being raised, like the test is becoming stricter, so do I get the desired score? So all these are the concerns from the PT aspirants.
I totally agree. And I would say that, of course, students will get the desired score provided they practice authentically, they practice without using any sort of a templated or a memorized responses. If they do that, they will get their desired scores. And of course, practice is the key. I mean, the more they practice, the more confident they would be to attend the exam.
Okay. My final question is, many students are asking why this changes has been introduced.
So, like I said, PT is an evolving test, right? And it is only looking for the benefit of the students. How can we help the students achieve the scores? How can we give them multiple more options so that they can achieve the desired scores and go to their country of choice, right? So, addition of these two new question types is nothing like alienated or nothing alien to the students. They already are aware about how are you supposed to respond to these two question types.
Okay.
But of course, probably it has been happening subconsciously all their life. But probably now, once they sit and think, okay, like this is the kind of response that I'm supposed to do. How do you respond to a situation? How do you summarize a group discussion? Now, it in the back of the mind, it happens naturally.
Yeah.
But now, when it comes to being a part of an exam, they'll be like consciously sitting and preparing for that, which I think somewhere down the line will help them in the long run.
Okay, fine.
Once they go out from here, once they move out of India to any of the country of their choice, of their dream destination, of course, once they reach there, then that's when they'll actually start thinking like, okay, this was how it helped me here.
That was the right time.
Exactly. So in PT, the two new question types, what I attempted there, it is helping me now here.
Okay.
So they'll get this idea over there.
One last question to my PT aspirants out there. What should I do if I want to get 79 plus in my PT? What would you recommend? And is there any time management that the time should be, for example, they should practice 2 hours in a day or 3 hours in a day to get that score?
See, I would say quality or quantity.
Okay.
It is not like they'll have to practice for a set number of hours in a day.
Yeah.
But of course, practice is the key.
Yes.
Even if you practice 1 hour a day, but then the practice has to be practice.
Yes.
I would say like that, So basically, it is nothing but having a quality kind of a practice if they're having. I think that is the best way to to get the desired scores. And of course, self study to an extent it might work, but then if you need to get an amazing score, like you said, 79 plus, I would highly recommend them taking a coaching or a class under a mentorship like you.
Okay.
Yeah, that is my high recommendation that I can give to each and every aspirants
Thank
that
you.
you are having.
Thank you, Sean, for sharing all the information for the PTA aspirants out there who is watching. They just want to know about what the changes or the updates that has been coming up from the August 7th, 2025. And all to my PTA aspirants, don't worry about the changes that has been coming up. You can prepare, practice, and you can take a proper coaching with an expert PT trainer so that they can guide you and you can get a 90 or 90 in all the modules. Thank you so much for watching the podcast. See you and bye.